Hey everybody, hello, it's Monday night and it's Team Up and we are live. And let me there we go, take some things off so I can see everybody. All right, so hey everybody, I'm Terry Luongo. Welcome to our Monday night call. And I know that the past couple of weeks we've devoted a lot of time to the digital transformation. We don't have anything new to share with you tonight. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to record this because I want to use this as a tutorial. Because what I'm seeing, not just with the Team Up organization, but all over Facebook, is that vendor fair opportunities are showing up everywhere. Pop-up opportunities are showing up everywhere. And what I want to do tonight is be of service to you. If you're going to invest your time, your talents, and your treasures, by that I mean money, into a pop-up opportunity or into a vendor fair, then I want to supply you with all the tools and tricks that I think will help you navigate and have a successful experience. And what I mean by that are orders at the end of the day or orders down the road. So I've invited two masters, two women who I believe do incredibly well at vendor fairs. Both have had amazing success. You're going to hear two different approaches. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to glean some from Abby, and then you'll glean some from Kathy. But just know that this is recorded, and you can always use it for your team because it's about success at a vendor fair. So tonight we're going to start with Miss Abby. Abi Nowlin, are you there, my darling?
Oh, I was muted. Hello,
There we
everybody.
go. All right, Abby, it's all yours. Tips and tricks and do's and don'ts for vendor fairs.
Okay,
Take it away, Abby.
perfect. Okay, so I wrote out kind of a couple of the things that I wanted to hit on. So I think the big thing, I'm going to share images here in a minute and kind of the things I have printed out, the things I've laminated. And once you do this once, the nice thing is I have a bag and everything's in my bag and I go through everything obviously before I go to it, but it's all there. So it makes it really easy. So I think the biggest thing is like, okay, how do I approach people? How, not everybody comes up and is like, hi, how are you? And so my biggest thing is Terry's the one that taught me this a couple years ago. She was like, ask people like friendly, inviting, hi guys, how are you? And then I asked them, have you heard of Juice Plus? Because if you don't ask them, the odds of them coming to you and saying, oh, what do you have at your table are very slim to none. They'll smile at you and they'll be like, they'll just take a little peek and then they'll keep on walking by. So I think it's important to ask the question, have you heard of Juice Plus? And they'll either say yes or no. And if they say yes, I'll say, okay, do you need a little refresher? And I'll give them a little bit of a refresher on what Juice Plus is. If they say no, then I say, simply put, it's fruits and vegetables that have been juice dried with their nutritional integrity maintained, put into a capsule in chewable form. It's been around for over 30 years with incredible research. And then I pull out I have my handouts on the table and I use those as I'm talking to people so they can get a visual. So let me share my screen with you really quick. Bear with me here. Don't be intimidated by my visuals. I have quite a few and you can kind of pick and choose what you want here. So let's see. Okay. So can you see this okay, Terry, on your screen?
Yes, I can.
So I have this image that I love that talks about like breaking down the research. And I just redid this image with the color scheme. That's the new branding and logo. So all of my stuff moving forward, I'm actually going to switch over to this color so that it's all cohesive. So I have this that I love and I have that on the table. I have options for starting with Juice Plus. This is a great visual piece. Terry is the one that told me this too. If people are seeing 3 options, the odds are they're going to choose the middle one. Okay, this is something I did this last time. And I know I shared this resource, I think on the Team Up page, but if I didn't, I'm happy to post this. But Brittany and I, when we did our last vendor fair in November, we created little goodie bags and we told everybody that they would get a free gift with purchase for the first 5 or 10 orders that were placed that day. I can't remember what we decided. And so in this is just a Healthy Living Revolution cookbook QR code. And we put 1 fruit chewable, 1 berry chewable, I think Illuminate stick, and a complete shake packet. And the first 5 orders that day got that in a little clear bag. And it was just like a cute, fun way to entice people to order on the spot. I think we only had, Brittany can maybe put that in the comments. I think we only had 1 person do it on the spot. I know human behavior is not necessarily one to be like super quick in person. But that's okay. So that's a great option. I think it entices people to have a free gift. And then the other thing I want to mention, and I need to make sure, hold on. Okay, this one, Juice Plus versus vitamins. I had this on the table. This is a great one. Okay, so this is what my booth looked like. This was not in November. This was in September of last year. I had my bottles. I had cute boxes. And I got a tablecloth and like this cute little green thing. You know, I want to make it visually appealing. So, you know, think about a booth that you would be drawn to and want to walk up to. That's kind of how I, you know, designed and envisioned this. So this was our booth with that Brittany and I did. So we did a kids eat for free, which I love that. Highly recommend doing a board with that. And I'll touch on this wellness survey. This is how we collected people's information, which is really the second most important thing other than talking to people. This was the receive a free gift. We got the Juice Plus versus vitamins, our capsules, the Juice Plus, you know, bottles, breaking down what's in each blend. Receive a free gift when you order today. That's that image. Brittany created that. Healthy Starts, of course, that's up. Let's see. I don't know if I had this out this particular day because we were at a kids space and it didn't feel like the right spot to do it because our focus was really Healthy Starts, but the affiliate opportunity, this is also something, or maybe I did have it out. I can't remember, but this is something I made and I love having laminated. Our Healthy Starts, I think I already went through this. Yep. And then this image, I have printed and laminated and not that. Okay, so let me pull up the wellness survey. Hold on, let me stop my share because I thought I had it up and I don't. So this is the thing that I use that we use to collect people's information. And I just got this. I used to ask people, you know, what's your greatest health challenge? And really the reality is, as Terry and I were having this conversation before I made this little wellness survey, is that people don't have a lot of, you know, you have a short window of time to really catch people's attention at a vendor event. And so if you can have people answer a couple questions and collect their information, making it very simple for them, they're more likely to fill something out. So what I told people was, I think this particular day, Brittany and I said, like, if you're interested in more information, this is kind of the segue. So like, if you kind of hit a dead point in the conversation with them after you share what Juice Plus is, maybe you've talked to them a little bit, you're like, hey, you know, we have a gift with purchase if you're interested in seeing what your options are. And they're like, you can say, okay, well, I'd love to send you more information. You can fill out this little wellness survey and I'll be in touch with you. And so this is a great way to really close the conversation and end up with a way to contact them. So and this tip I learned from Stacy Whitmer, on the back of the card, as soon as the person left, I would write out what they had, what we talked about, what they looked like, so that when I went back to look at my cards that I still have right here, like I wrote on this one, this person was a cancer patient and she was in her newly postpartum season. I knew that if I saw those 2 words, it would jog my memory, because if you have 20 cards, let's be real, guys, you're not going to remember everybody's story. So I would write little things to jog my memory on the back. And that was the best tip I have been given. And it was so helpful as I was following up with these people. So let's see, I want to make sure I hit everything else. Okay, the last thing I want to note is, I'm going to stop my screen share here. The last thing I want to say is, so Brittany and I that day in November I think we collected 10 like cards from people. We split them 50-50. She ended up, I think, with 2 or 3 orders. Brittany, you can confirm that for sure in the comments. I ended up with an order, and then a girl that I had a conversation with actually joined my team. And so, okay, Brittany had 3. I had 2, and then the girl ended up becoming a partner. So we had a stellar conversion rate that day with 10 with 10 cards. So all of that to say, when I was talking to this girl afterward, her name is Riley. I mentioned to her back in November the affiliate opportunity. It wasn't the right season. And she told me she wanted to revisit the conversation after the holidays. And she just joined this last week. So the point of this is I'm actually going to invite these ladies that I have their cards in front of me to our Moms on a Mission call tomorrow. So keep the cards, keep loving on them. And I think I was ghosted by a lot of these other people afterward, if I'm being totally frank with you. I think I was. So you're not alone in getting ghosted. People ghost you. It's just the way of the game. You keep loving on them. You keep dripping on them. And that's what I got. Did I miss anything, Terry?
No, I think that was awesome. And that's a ton of nuggets, guys. Can you see how helpful this is? That is so good. I just want to throw one thing in here, and then I'm going to throw it over to Kathy. One of the things, and I haven't worked a booth in a long time, a vendor fair, but one of the things I used to say is, would you be interested in, learning more about our farmers and how we, grow our produce and cultivate Juice Plus? If I were to send you a short video, would you watch it? If
I love that.
would you fill out this paper, fill out something, whatever it is, and I will get this video off you. Whenever I have asked, would you be interested in learning more about our farming practices? Would you be interested more in learning how we actually make Juice Plus? Oh yeah, if I were to send you. And that's always worked well for me in capturing information. Okay.
Love it.
Oh, and Abby's new partner hit Partner Plus in one day. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Abby. And now we're going to bring it over to the amazing Kathy Schlund. Kathy, what are your best tips and tricks on vendor fairs?
Okay, let me start with showing you a few pictures, and you can tell truly the difference in simplicity and someone who isn't so simple. So that being said, real quick, sorry guys, I haven't updated my computer yet. So I have done vendor shows that started, okay, in the first 2 weeks that I became a partner, and I got 10 customers in that very first one. So it set me up for, this is a great place. What you're seeing here on the upper left, this was a very expensive. This was actually down at, I'm sorry, I actually got nervous. This was EarthX, and this was a 3-day event. And we had tower gardens, we had things for all days. We had all kinds of different ways for people to follow up with us. And I'm going to give you a little information about that. Taking it on, I do a fair number of events that are actually companies that want their employees to have an employee health fair. And so that's what a lot of these pictures here are. And yes, I kind of reduced, and I got to the point where things are much simpler now, as you can see over here on the right-hand side. Okay, so as I'm looking at all these different events, and Sarah actually did a couple of these with me, the things that I thought about ahead of time, and preparation is the key to your success. First of all, looking at what is your return on investment? What is the time? What is the cost? How many participants are there going to be? How many people are going to actually come? Is it worth my time and money? Treasures. My suggestion is that I don't care how small it is, don't do a booth alone. Always do a booth with at least one other person. So if you're talking to someone, somebody else can make sure that they're capturing someone else who's coming along. So you don't have to be being crazy. Think about what do you want from the event. When you have set your intention, it makes all the difference in the world. Intention is everything. Are you looking for customers? Are you just looking for contacts? Maybe you want to get into other programs. When you're looking at the event, also, is this event just any old event, or is it health oriented? And that makes a difference. Just don't go to any old show or anything. Think about, what are the people there? Are they there to shop for stuff like goodies, or are they there for health? Think about your display. Think about all the different things that you're going to want to have. You definitely want to have your, as Abby was pointing out, you want your gummies or your capsules, and you want to be able to, so that people can see the capsules. You'll want the gummies. Sometimes you'll want the shakes, but not always. But think about how big the table is. What can I put on there? Think about your mechanisms to gather information. And I'm going to I'm going to show my form in just a minute. What are you actually going to hand out? I'll share with you the handout that I created thanks to Leanne Harris and all the information that's actually on there. Also, especially today, now I did booths all throughout the fall. And it used to be people could fill in a regular order form and we just would go in and place their orders, but we can't do that anymore directly. So several items on the order forms, now that we can and know how to create carts. If someone's looking for a trio, then make sure that you have a trio cart already keyed up and that you can send them the cart. And you can, if they're open to actually even receiving the cart, two things happen. Number one is you capture their names and their phone numbers, or their names and their email addresses. So if you can say, hey, can I send this to you? And, or with that is, and let me include a video, or let me include a link to something important. So as you're developing that, you're actually gathering information at the same time. But now that we have the order forms, we can at least get them to fill out even the children's health study information, and so that we can send them the cart to do that. So these are some things to think about ahead of time, because you're going to get caught otherwise. Let's talk about next, and I'm going to show you some of these pictures of the different things that I have. But conversations. The conversations are really significant. When people are walking up or walking by, depending on how busy it is, if you see people that are walking by and they're just kind of looking, I truthfully, Abby, I have stopped asking, have you heard about Juice Plus? Because it gets them into a yes-no situation. And then the burden is back on me to do the talking. And I like them to talk more to find out if I'm even wasting my breath. And if they do say, well, yes, I've heard of Juice Plus, and I ask them, well, what have you heard? What do you know? Because I'm curious to see if I'm going to be repeating or if I'm going to be enhancing their information. A lot of times that they say they have, and then they say, isn't it that juice? And I said, it sounds like it would be, wouldn't it? So I go and build the conversation from there. If people are walking by and they're looking and they're kind of looking, I ask them, so what's catching your attention? What I see you looking, what do you think? What's going on in your mind? And so then you can start the conversation if they're willing to at least answer to that. Then with that is, I'll ask them also, to start a conversation, do you know the recommended servings of fruits and vegetables every day? Many times they don't have a clue, but they'll guess a number. And then if there's somebody else with them, they'll guess the number. And then I say, well, great guess, but would you be surprised to hear? And I'll say how many servings, and they're usually never close to it. And they feel defeated. And I'll say, right, I get it. I felt the same way. And then I go into the conversation. Would you like to know more about how you can get that number up without having do a lot of work? So those are some of the ways I do ask the questions. Depends on what I'm there for and what the event is. Sometimes I do ask, instead of any health challenges, I ask them if they have any health goals that they are working on right now. And then when they say yes or no, yes, if they say yes, well, how's it going? What are your biggest challenges in there? So I continue to get them to talk just like we would if we're sitting down talking with someone else. And in all of that, I'm filling out the information in my head, but then I go ahead and give them, ask them if they'd fill out a form, would they like to know more? Are you open to? And how to capture that, then I'll capture more of their information. Then the most important piece to me is the follow-up. And what does the follow-up look like? The follow-up looks like at least 7 to 10 different methods, times of the day, methodologies, different vehicles, like a video, an invitation, all of these different pieces, but you've got to think about it ahead of time, prepare for what you want to do. Because if you've been to an event and the next 3 days, you don't have time to do follow-up because life is so busy, as Jerry Moran always taught me, just like bananas, leads go bad in about 3 days. So I have learned that that is a really significant piece. And in that follow-up, this is the health, these are 2 different actually health surveys that I have used depending on where I'm going. I've actually pared it down. And the number one thing that I learned over time is to put the date on it. Because if I don't know, if the papers all get messed up, you can't say, oh, we talked on such and such a date or at such and such a place. If you got the date, you'll know where you were. This also gives you the best time or way to contact you, information about their children. And in this one, I'm interested in a convenient way to add more fruits and vegetables to my family's diet. Now, one of the reasons I ask these different questions like this is because if they have had a conversation with me and they're too worried about giving me a yes answer, they can circle no right there without embarrassing themselves. Okay, and taking your time. But I say I'm interested in learning about Free Juice Plus for my children. I'm interested in an additional income by sharing Juice Plus with my families and others. This is really important question because there are people that you won't have, you're not at the point where you've been able to make that conversation with them about that, but sometimes they'll circle yes, and they do want to learn more about that. I'm interested in learning more. Now, this is when the Tower Gardens were still in there, so I still have the Tower Garden question on there. Now, for me, as I'm a professional coach, and so I do offer a 30-minute health coaching session. And also, the last one is please put me on your email or text list for health and nutrition information and or coming up health talks. So then they give you permission to contact them on different events. So this is a really helpful format for them to be more honest with you as well at the same time, and you can take away the information. And just like Abby does, oh, heck yeah, I write everything on the back, who they were, what they said, where they're going, how old they are, all the things. So this is the form I use. Now, this is what I have now using as a lot for my handouts. And what this is these are QR codes to the different videos. So they can go to the Jumpstart, they can go to learn about essentials. There's also Order Juice Plus here. So that goes directly to my website. And the Healthy Starts, as well as benefits of, this is also about becoming a rep, becoming a partner, and the gene expression farm to capsule. And you can pick the best ones that you love with my contact information on the bottom. Then finally, we have a new order form. That's what I was doing, is putting this on there. This order form, they can get more ideas about what they want with this. And still it has the email, the card information if they want it. But what's important is catching that children's name and information so you can create the cart for them, and it will be a much faster format. So that's what I got.
Wow. Okay, guys, can you see why I was so excited about tonight? So many great takeaways. You guys stay here. Do you want more thing you wanted to add, Kathy? Because
The one more thing I wanted to add, and that is when you get to your booth, push the booth farther back in and make it against the wall. You're not sitting down, you're not sitting behind a table, you are standing out in front. And by pushing it back against the wall, rather than leaving the table out front, you're creating a situation where you're inviting people in. It's like you're inviting them into your house, you're inviting them into your space, rather than them in a actual walkway. You're not stopping them per se, you can. But by standing inside that booth area and creating this little nook, it feels more inviting and it gets them from getting out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
okay, Kathy, stop the recording and I'm going to see if anybody has any questions because I don't want this to go more than 30 minutes.